Zdravo, kako si? No, I'm just kidding. I don't speak Serbian, but I moved here. Um, I guess one of the major questions I get is why Serbia? Um, Canada just wasn't doing it for me. The place that I once called home, always called home, born and raised in, no longer felt like home. This all started on a family holiday, really. We went on a trip in the summer, and I know vacations are different. Believe me, I get it. But this vacation was different because we treated it like home. We cooked, we grocery shopped, we went to markets, we spent time with family, friends. We traveled as if we lived here and we were visiting other places. And even when I traveled, I loved traveling Europe when I was here, but nowhere felt like home except for Serbia. Now, Serbia is the warmest feeling for me. I can't speak for everybody else, but what I can tell you is the experience I felt when I was here matched who I am in my personality, and matched my life. Now, I guess I'm going to have a lot of naysayers here, but I am totally against everything that's been going on in Canada. I'm not okay with the government. I'm not okay with the way COVID was handled. I absolutely hate the school system in Canada, and I think that kids being pushed through year after year, with every kid being diagnosed as having ADHD, has to have something to do with the food. And then in the schools, they can't keep up with the demands needed for the kids because of their unfortunate circumstances. There was just a lot that happened to us that helped push me to this decision. I won't get too far into it. Some of you know my life, but I have a very toxic family. As many of you know, I have a book written about my life. And the reality is, when you leave the toxic environment that you're in and you find somewhere that you feel comfortable living in, and somewhere where you have the opportunity for brand new beginnings, meeting new people, establishing new relationships, leaving the past in the past without having triggering memories, and dealing with a school system that if you fail, you fail. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you're a winner. To me, is everything I grew up with in Canada. That was where things were. Things have fallen apart, for lack of better words. And, I think things have gotten worse in the last few years, but we're seeing, more and more refugees coming into the country with nowhere for them to live. And then you see them begging on the streets, but we're bringing in more. We can't even take care of the people we have here in Canada, I should say, not here, because I'm in Serbia now. This video is kind of just a bit of an intro as to why I left. And I don't want to bore you. And if you'd like to know more, of course, just follow along. I mean, the pieces will fall together as I start, I guess, unraveling my whole experience being here. You'll hear little stories here and there, or little references, or you can pick up my book. But I definitely knew that it's going to be hard here. Everyone says to me, well, do you speak the language? No, I don't speak the language. Do you plan to work here? No, I don't plan to work here. How are you going to live there? I'm going to build a house. I'm going to build a custom house. Your money goes a lot further here, and we were fortunate enough to have great opportunities in Canada that gave us the opportunity to come here and be able to build a home. Do my kids speak Serbian? No, the kids don't speak Serbian. I will make a whole video on how the kids actually felt about moving, because that's another whole different question that I get regularly. When you imagine Serbia, imagine back in the 80s. You have people hitchhiking still on the side of the road that were not worried about being some type of murderer, rapist, someone putting you into a trafficking ring. Imagine having, kids with cell phones that aren't glued to it, and that they're actually socializing, and they use their cell phones to call one another. They call one another on it. And then when they meet, they hang out. Yeah, of course, kids will be kids. They're still on their phones here and there, but nothing like in Canada. In Canada, kids weren't putting down their phones, they were socializing with each other side by side. Imagine asking people for directions again and not always worrying about being on Google and actually interacting with people again. Imagine going to a restaurant and them not expecting a tip because they're paid properly and that they don't have to work overly hard and be fake with you in hopes that you'll like them to get some extra money because they're not paid enough. Imagine here, you tip them a couple bucks and they're taken back. It's not expected. I had a funny reference from when I came back from Serbia. So one of the things I noticed when I came here on vacation was that whole kind of fake greeting that we do in Canada was gone. So when you go in somewhere, there's no, hi, how are you? I'm good, how are you? I'm good, and how's your day? And I hope you have a good day. None of us mean that. We don't ask, how are you, to hear about your day. We ask how you are for formality because we're programmed that way, but we don't care about how your day is. Here, you walk into a store. How can I help you? There's no fake small talk. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Some people might not appreciate that. I, on the other hand, appreciate that. And funny story is I came back from Serbia from vacation. I went to the bank and follow me here, okay? The bank teller says to the gentleman in front of me, hi, how are you? And the gentleman says, I'm good, how are you? And she responds, I'm good, how are you? And he said, I'm good. And I'm like, how many times is this going to go back and forth? Did they not realize that they just asked each other the same thing twice? Because again, we're not listening to hear the answer to that question. So while I found the people here abrupt at first, I ended up saying, like, I actually prefer the abrupt. The abrupt is maybe what I long for and didn't know I longed for it and didn't know I needed it. So imagine cutting all the nonsense talk. Or how about when you say to somebody, hey, if you need anything, give me a call. I can't tell you how many times I've been offered that insincere gesture and then you call them and they're busy. Now, the reality is in Canada, you might actually be busy. Hey, maybe you are busy because in Canada, we don't have time to stop. We are go, 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 go. So maybe you are busy. But we're also like, if you say to someone, are you home? You almost want to know why they're asking before you answer whether you're home or not. Here, if they genuinely offer you help, they're actually insulted if you don't ask for help when you're doing whatever they offered to help with. What a difference in community, in relationships, in friendships. What a difference where you see people coming together all the time to sit together and actually just have conversations, greet each other at one another's home, feed each other. And the number one thing that just warmed my heart and made me feel like this is my home and I'm so sorry I didn't do this sooner was my kids. They're out playing and the neighborhood is watching out for them. Here, I gotta stop saying here. In Canada, you're lucky if your one neighbor's watching. And when your kid's in trouble, because of the laws and because of people not wanting to get in trouble or get in the way or get into other people's business, sometimes your kid could be asking for help and somebody's going to walk by because they can't be bothered, they're too busy, or they don't want to be involved. Here, just after we arrived, somebody was, these 3 little girls were coming out of a school and it was kind of blocked off by like construction stuff. And 3 men came, they moved the boulders, they picked up the sticks, they made sure that the girls came out, put everything back, and the gentlemen were on their way. It was something so small, but so warming to me because again, in Canada, people would have walked by and not looked twice. And unfortunately, we've been programmed that way. Um, we sent our kids to school, and one of our children didn't come home at the time we expected her to come home. It's her first day. She doesn't speak the language. The school's a 3-minute walk, so we assume like, you know, she can walk home. She's got this. We went into full panic mode. Again, we're programmed for Canada. Expect the worst, unfortunately. We are so populated with so many different people, and so we hear about so many bad things that are happening. So we're thinking the worst. Oh my God, has she been kidnapped? Is she being assaulted? Has she been taken for some like trafficking ring? Is someone beating her up? We rush over to the school in full panic mode. And the school says, oh my God, why are you freaking out? She's still here. And we said, well, she wasn't home. And they said, but you don't have to worry. It's okay. We'll see that she comes out of the school and she's going to walk with a group. And the group's going to make sure she's okay. I just, again, so different. I mean, I could keep going as to why Serbia felt like home. But as I go along, I'm going to continue vlogging my experience. There's so many things I want to share with you guys, but I'm going to make other videos, I promise. Because I'm going to share videos about like how the experience was of packing, to leave and bringing my car and what that looks like. And like the food here, I don't love it. I'm sure some people will. Again, I'll get into it. Racism is a big question I get. I can't wait to dig into that with you guys. But I will continue to update everybody along the way, about the kids, about their private school, about their lives, their friends, their journeys, their sports, our goodbyes. I'm going to have the kids do a video for everybody to share kind of their experience and their thoughts, their views. But this isn't just going to be a one-off. I'm here to stay. I'm here to share my experiences, and I'm here to share Serbia with you for all of those who can't make it over here. And maybe one day it'll become a place on your bucket list and people can stop seeing Serbia in a negative aspect, because maybe that's just what the news wants you to think. Anyways, zdravo. Talk to you guys soon. I'm so excited to share more. Ciao.